All right, it's time now for a mom therapy session, everybody, where we bring together everyday Chicagoland moms to vent about everyday parenting issues. And today, we've got Andrea, we've got Jen, and we've got Juveriya here sitting with me as well. Really excited to have you guys in. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's good to have you guys in. So let's dig right in. So surveys are saying modern age women are having fewer children. Have you guys heard some of this? Recognize some of this maybe? Well, this could be for a variety of reasons that they're saying. They said stats have shown, though, women are waiting longer to get married. So I think we're seeing a rise in independent women potentially that are chasing career first. But due to the fact that they're getting married later, kids are happening later, or for some people not having them at all. So curious what your guys' thoughts on this in terms of real life implications to being that older mom. Pros and cons. Juveriya, we'll start with you.
Sure. So I had my first kid. I got pregnant at 23, and I had my baby at 24. And it felt like I was raising my children, but I was also maturing with them as well. And you know, childcare and finding like a good, like for example, I didn't have a great maternity leave during my first pregnancy. But while you're an older mom, you're confident at work. You can take a longer maternity leave. You have the best options for childcare, and you can make those confident decisions because you're more established in your life and your career, which is awesome compared to a younger mom. Like now my friends are having children and they're sending their kids to like the fancy schmancy Montessori schools, and I'm like, can someone just watch my kid for a few hours in someone's basement? Like that's the only option that I had as a 24-year-old. Go ahead.
Andrea, how about you?
Well, I was 28 when I had my daughter, and most of my friends weren't even dating someone. They were out on the party scene, and they were out. So I feel like one of the advantages being younger is that I didn't think about everything so much. You know, I didn't plan for it, and I wasn't, it was just kind of thrown into it more. So it was more of like a, okay,
fly by the
just
seat of your pants kind of. As a young father, I can relate, absolutely.
So, you know, I think when you're older, obviously you're more established in your career and you're maybe a little bit wiser, but at least personally, at 36 now, I think I would think about things a lot more and be a little bit more, you know.
Of course. How about you, Andrea?
So I had my first kid later, so opposite. I had my first kid when I was 34.
Okay.
And I established my career, and I moved to 3 different cities and then landed in Chicago. So for me, I personally felt more comfortable later because I'd found my partner later. I had my job, and I felt probably emotionally, financially more secure. Like she was saying, like I had help. It was easy, and support was easier because there were more moms. They were around my age.
More established and more resources around.
Yes, but the plus I think with younger is less problems with fertility, which you see often now. More energy. I definitely feel tired all the time. And just, I think there's pluses and minuses. I think it just depends on who you find in your life, and then where you feel like you should be. And I wasn't ready when I was in my 20s.
Would you ladies ever talk somebody off of wanting to become a mother at an older age in life? Would you ever insert that conversation, or just?
No, I don't think I would. Like I would tell them, like, you are ready to make your own decisions at your time, and that could be in your 20s or that could be in your 30s. It's 40s, up to you. Exactly. Yeah. And then like one advantage of being a younger mom though I see is that like my kids are going to be in college, and I'm going to be in my 40s, and I'm going to be like on a cruise in Italy, basically.
That new life coming right back to you. There you go. Not this weather.
Love my kids, P.S.
You'll go find some other weather outside of this stuff outside for sure. All right, so there's a new law in New York that's got people talking, and it's now requiring men's restrooms to provide changing tables. Not just the women's restrooms. Men are getting involved in this too. So I ask you guys, and I'm going to start with you, Jen, why is it so important that we erase the double standards that currently exist?
Well, one finally, right? I mean,
that's a first reaction, right?
Yeah, because we've been having kids forever, and you know, I think having a dad be able to help in a restaurant when you're traveling, in an airport, I mean, it's so important. And a double standard. I think there's always going to be double standards. I think it just depends on your family and your partner and what you guys think is doable in your life.
Is there one that sticks out to you as a double standard that drives you nuts? Like the one I always hear is guys say, "I'm babysitting tonight. I can't go out." It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're not babysitting.
I don't think
you're a parent.
Yeah, I don't think any mom loves that statement because at the end of the day, you both watch they're your children.
Yeah,
you're not babysitting.
That's a job you had in high school to make some money on this.
I think the hardest thing right now is just a lot of times, like I think so many husbands are helpful, but when your husband does help, they tend to say like, "Oh, it's so nice that he does."
It
is nice, but is it the other way around?
It's expected when you guys do it. Juveriya?
Right. So like growing up, I was so blessed for everyone around me, like my teachers, my family, my friends, to say, hey, you can do whatever you want. Go to the best college, do the best career, whatever you want. Like the world is open for you. But if I'm working and I'm, earning a paycheck, no one's telling my husband, hey, since, your wife is working, you got to pick up the slack. You have to do more at home. You have to figure out how to balance. Like balance is for me, like in all articles, blogs, I talk about balance for working moms. But what about working dads and finding a balance for them? And just a small thing like having changing tables in bathrooms, that means that my husband can take my girls to the museum. He can take them to the mall. I could do some work at home and he doesn't have any pressure. He doesn't have to, there's like a viral video that's going on where a dad has to change his daughter's diaper on the floor. That's nasty, okay? Just a simple thing like a piece of plastic that would save the embarrassment of my husband from doing that. That's awesome, and I think New York is doing a good job, and I think Illinois should follow.
Follow suit. Andrea?
I mean, I can't believe that it's taken this long for this to
It's
happen.
almost
And
insulting,
It's almost
isn't
it?
insulting. I feel like I watched a lot of my friends suffer and kind of do everything in the house and do everything for their kids. So I took a completely different stance, and I played dumb. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't, and I just would fail at things. I'd go to the grocery store and I'd pick bad fruit, and then my husband would be like, you can't pick the fruit, I have to pick the fruit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right, you should do that. So I think
So
women
now I
are
know the
really,
thinking.
yeah,
Thank you for
like,
tipping
just
me onto
play
that
dumb.
Well, it is wild, and as I sit here, I feel like I'm getting an education, to be honest, on some stuff that should probably be common sense, right? Like the past that men have gotten for so long on. You are the child bearer. You're the one who's going to nurture and take care of it. It's ridiculous in 2019, and it should be going on from the start. You guys are in this together, right?
Right.
This new birthday party trend that is gaining steam, and I've never heard of this. So rather than traditional birthday parties where your kids bring the gifts, as we're all accustomed to, that's how we came up, right? They're now asking guests to bring $5 towards a larger gift that the parents will buy for their own child. So are we feeling this approach? It's really interesting. Juveriya, I start with you.
So I'm actually in the midst of like this dilemma. My daughter is having her 5th birthday party, and I had to go through a lot of stress just to try to figure out which venue to hold the party, make sure it's comfortable for all the adults and the children. And then for the gift, like I'm going through the Con Marie process, like everyone watched the Netflix documentary, it's minimalism. You don't need a lot of gifts. You don't need a lot of things in your house. And if I have, there's about 10 families that are coming to my daughter's birthday party, I don't need 10 gifts for my child. If they just bring in that $5, and this is how I did it, this is how I worded it on my invitation. I said, please, there's no pressure for gifts. If you want to bring a handmade card for my child, that would be great, and that's it. So if someone still wants to bring a gift, that's up to them. If someone just wants to bring $5 or even less or more, whatever their budget is, that's great. And then I want to buy a bicycle for my daughter. Spring is coming, I promise, in Chicago.
Yeah,
it's
it seems
coming.
far away.
Right. And they can just, I can just use it for a bicycle, and that bicycle represents my daughter's 5th birthday party present. And imagine like running to Target last minute, trying to find a gift frantically. You don't need to find that gift, and parents have no pressure, the host or the guests.
Andrew?
I think it's a great idea. I had never heard of it, but
Yeah,
trying to
I've never
buy
heard of it
gifts
either.
for kids that you don't know is hard. I think they should take it a step further and just combine all January birthdays into one party.
Hey, let's give
And then
Andrew
be
a round of
done
applause
with it.
here.
Just be done with it. I mean, nobody enjoys
It's just
it.
added stress,
It's added
right?
stress.
And
Well,
like
we
you
all-
say,
we all
you
get
might not even
gifts
know
last
the
minute.
kid.
Right.
You don't know their personality.
Yeah.
Last minute, absolutely,
Yeah.
Jen. We
Right.
always do it last minute. To
Yeah.
me, I just don't want this to become a thing where it's like a registry for like birthday parties.
You were saying that's.
I did go to a birthday party where they had a list that was
you
like
like it?
attached to Target. I didn't like it because, I mean, there were some gifts that were like $120.
That's what I mean. I'm afraid of it going that route.
Yeah.
Crazy.
How about you?
I think it's a great idea. I mean, I tend to do a variety of parties. For big birthdays, we do the big party where there's like, you got to invite everybody,
So
the
you like
parents
to,
come.
you like to go all out.
Sometimes,
Okay.
only sometimes for the big birthdays. But most of the time we do small parties. So if it's a small party, I do think that there's still like a traditional thing where your kid loves to open gifts, right? If it's 5 presents, 6 presents, it's still really sweet to see them open it up. And I remember when I was a kid, I loved getting presents. But I think when it's larger parties, I think what a great idea. You can get one big thing and then get little things yourself as a parent. But I also went to a party that I loved where the $5 went to charity, and then the parent got the gifts for the child. I think that's a great idea,
That's
too.
a really good idea.
Yeah. Well, Juveriya, Jen, and Andrea, this has been really cool. I hope we can do this again. Should we cheers? I feel
Cheers,
like to
yes.
close things out here.
Sure.
these birthday parties, so we'll have a little party of our own right here. So this has been so fun. Thank you guys for opening up, venting. I think a lot of people out there listening, mothers, fathers, people who may not be parents but may become one day, can learn a lot from this. So sometimes it's good to just open up and have the conversation. And I appreciate you guys joining us this morning.
Thank you for having
us. Absolutely, everybody. So there it is, everybody. And we'd love to hear your thoughts on the conversation we had today. Incredibly thought-provoking. So message us on all our social media platforms. Let us know what you thought about today's Mom Topics. Plus, what do you out there want us to talk about in another round of Mom Therapy? Let us know.